Hi, everyone. I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi. Thank you for joining us today. We're having our regular 5 p.m. Pacific time Wednesday Q&A, taking your questions live and answering U.S. immigration questions, generally general education kind of stuff, because I know it can be confusing and there's a lot of weird stuff going on. So I like to come by live and answer these questions every week. And I appreciate the whole team and crew of people coming and behind the scenes, all the staff members helping out on this. To start, a couple notes. One is we are doing our regular free consultation raffle. So you get a 15-minute free consultation if you are watching on YouTube or on LinkedIn and Facebook, all that too. But if you're watching on YouTube, you subscribe, you like the page, and just leave a comment saying you are interested in the consultation while the live video is happening, not the recorded version of this. So if you're watching now, and then my associate will name some people who won. Every 10 minutes, we'll name one person. Stay on the line. Once you hear your name, you have to email me a screenshot that it is your account, and then we'll set up a time. My throat's already given away, and we just started. So I'm going to try to go a little bit slower so I don't burn out this throat. We're going to go real fast the next 30 minutes as your questions start to trickle in. So that's some housekeeping right there. If you'd like to schedule a consultation, email me at info@jqqlaw.com. And you could download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide if you're interested in a marriage case, marriage green card case, and you want a free guide that's better than all of them out there. Just go to www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com and you catch it there. And with that, let's get it started. All right, everyone, thanks again for joining us. There's been some shifts happening in the immigration space. There's been some good openings that the Biden administration has done. They're kind of behind the scenes, some of them. But one is they're kind of opening up these travel ban situations so that if you're going to go for a J visa, for example, a student visa and the like, they may make it easier if you're from China, Iran, the EU, Brazil, South Africa to come in to the United States for those. So that's been a plus. We also got note that a standard that was changed during President Trump's time was that if you had an existing business case, like, for example, you had an H-1B visa, an L-1 visa, an O-1, and you needed to do an extension or renewal, President Trump's people said you have to re-review the whole case. The Immigration Department re-reviews everything and then checks it out, then goes forward. But the Biden administration brought the old guidance from like the early 2000s that said, listen, if you had one case approved, unless there's some material changes, we're just going to be more easier about extending it, just going over some basics. So that's a major positive. Now, one major negative that's happened is for a large population in India. As you know, the situation in India with regards to COVID-19 has gone terrible. And because of that, for the most part, visa processing in India, and embassies and consulates has shut down except for rare emergency situations. We just got away from the H-1B bans, the L-1 bans, things were opening up, but then again, it's gotten worse. So expect even more delays if you are going to deal with Mission India. So let's take some questions. Offering says, hi to you as well. Ron asks, how hard is it to sponsor a second foreign spouse? I'm a U.S. citizen. So you're saying you had a spouse first and then you got another foreign spouse. And it's not hard or easy. We got to review the facts here to see how it looks and then analyze it and just do it from there. At the end of the day, if it's your spouse, you got to do it. You don't have no choice. But it's something we got to just see the actual facts of the case. So it's not hard or easy. It's just, what we have to go through. Adnan says, hi. Hi to you too. JOT says, hi. How about Canadian Embassy for green card marriage-based sponsorship? Are they giving visas or not yet? I think you mean the U.S. Embassy, Canada, in Montreal. Are they doing green card reviews? They are. I just had a green card case, marriage green card case for a Canadian approved in Montreal last week. The only thing is they're doing much less appointments. So what's going to happen is it's going to be a long time before you actually get the appointment scheduled, but they are happening. So it's not like it's not happening. It's just huge delays. So be prepared for that. All right, as a reminder, we are doing free 15-minute consultation giveaway raffle. Just, if you're watching on YouTube, like, subscribe, and leave a comment saying free consultation or something like that. And then my associate in 5 minutes will pick one person, let me know. And then 10 minutes after that, we'll pick another person. Just listen when you hear your name, email me and have a screenshot that shows that's your account, and I'll send you information on having that quick consultation. As Zimana says, hi, is the adjustment of status the same or different for someone that has DACA entered the U.S. with a passport legal entry? Will I get a different work permit than I already have? So adjustment of status is adjustment of status. It's applying for a green card. And so the DACA part doesn't really matter here. You enter lawfully. So whether DACA doesn't come into place. Now, the work permit is a different work permit. The work permit you have on DACA is based on one code. The adjustment of status work permit or EAD employment authorization document is based on the C9 code for adjustment of status. It's a little more technical than need be in a conversation like this, but generally just file for the green card. If it's appropriate, you pass it, and that's that. Surrender waivers is the date that they say your case should be processed by accurate in 2021 USCIS. The dates have never been accurate. So that's why I tell people ask me how long a case takes, all this kind of stuff. There's no timetable. Some cases, you have two people, clones, exact same people. One person's case takes 6 months, one person's case takes 1.5 years. There's no consistency to it. So I implore people, please do not look at these timelines. Don't stress out unless it's ridiculously out of control. These timelines don't make any sense. GOT says, thank you, you're welcome. Asaf says, any news about the K1 visa? Well, they have opened it up claiming that they're going to do interviews for K1 visa holders, even if they're from trial ban countries, but it's yet to be seen. They say one thing, but in practice, what the embassies actually do is a different thing. So that's the news on that. Now, a reminder, I just talked about these timelines. There is no consistent timelines with USCIS or with the embassy, especially with the shutdowns and COVID-19. And each case is different, so I can't answer these questions about how long your case is going to take and when this is going to happen. So just please don't ask those. Pridom says, why are priority dates for F4 visas moving so slow? Is Biden administration going to do anything about that? Well, no, F4 visas have always been slow. F4 is a category where a U.S. citizen applies for their brothers and sisters. There's a lot of people applying for this category, and there's a limited number every year. So, it takes a while. So it's 10, 15, 20 years. It's always been like that. There won't be any changes, most likely. If there is going to be a change, they would get rid of this category because many people don't like the fact that U.S. citizens can apply for brothers and sisters and nieces and nephews through that are younger. It's just always been a slow category because there's so many people requesting it, and there's a limited number of visas given out each year. Because you got to keep in mind, when you do your brother, all of a sudden the whole family comes with this. There's a large number of visas that get eaten up by this category. Jesus asks, hi, sir, good day. Any updates on the F2B category? No, just this regular. Valeria asks, question, can someone with a pending asylum case apply for H-1B? Valeria, that's a complicated question, and you might get approval sometimes you won't. The main thing is you have to maintain status to be able to, become an H-1B visa holder. And the issue is if you file for asylum after your previous status expired, then that's not going to work out. But if you applied for it before, can you still change status or not? Are you in valid status or not? There's differing opinions on this. So this is a larger issue that you have to consult with several immigration areas about to get to the bottom of it. But the H-1B visa is applied for through your employer. So they would have an immigration lawyer you could talk with about that. 8814 asks, my husband filed for his brother's visa 10 years ago. What are the chances of him getting a visa anytime soon? It's not about chances. It's just a line. I need to know what country your brother-in-law is born in, and then you go to the visa bulleted chart and you see where things are processing. Probably not going to happen anytime soon, but anytime soon is relative. So some people 1 year is a long time, some people 10 years is a long time. So just you got to look at the situation and wait. Malik asks, my brother's marriage-based green card interview is next week. Is interview is lengthy in Pendam? Is interview is lengthy? Malik, your question kind of falls apart there. I'm not sure what you're saying. Sevens asks, do people from Iran always have to go into administration processing? Not always, but most of the time nowadays, Iranians undergo what's called administrative processing, which is additional review of their cases. It's more often than not, at least 51% of the time, not 70% of the time. That's what happens to Iranian cases. Jasper asks, if your I-130 is approved and you have an I-601A pending, am I considered legal status? No, an I-130 or a 601 pending or filed or anything doesn't give you any status. It just means a case is pending where you potentially can get status, but it doesn't give you status. Eduardo asks, are the new changes for processing times going to affect the 601A form? There have been no changes in processing time, so things are as they are. If anything, things are going to take longer. Love asks, I came to the U.S. on an ESTA VWP in 2018, married a U.S. citizen. After that, I went to a lawyer. I'm in New York, and he said I can't adjust status because I came here on ESTA, and ESTA holders are not allowed. So, Love, I'm sorry to hear that you went to a lawyer and they said that. A lot of lawyers don't follow up with the rules, and the rule for this was made like 10 years ago, so they should know. There is an exception where if you entered on the visa waiver program and marry a U.S. citizen, you can adjust status. In general, if you're a parent of a U.S. citizen, a minor child of a U.S. citizen, an unmarried child, or a spouse of a U.S. citizen, if you come on the visa waiver or the ESTA program, you can adjust status. The rest of the case is okay. So, talk with another lawyer, schedule consultation office. Well, first and foremost, Download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide at www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com and read that. And then if you need to schedule a consultation in my office, we'll talk more. But unfortunately, you got bad advice. Ambrose asks, hello, John. Again, hey, hello to you too. Is there something wrong with the online form DS260? It won't allow me to go further than listing my social media. You know, things happen, glitches happen. Give it another try. If there's an issue, contact the people. There's a contact information situation with the MBC to try to help that. Seven says, thank you. You're welcome. Raffle winner. Okay, so Ali Shay 5031. Thank you for subscribing, liking. If you're interested in getting that free 15-minute consultation, you've won. Just take a screenshot of your YouTube page to show that it is your page, with your name on the corner top right. Email it to info@jqqlaw.com, and I'll send you a link for you to schedule a free 15-minute video consultation to discuss your case. All right, Zinat says, are they going to close the embassy in Afghanistan? Well, that's not my decision what they're going to do. With the U.S. pulling out, they may be afraid to keep things open there, but that's a decision that's made by the higher ups. It's not a decision I can tell you. Assad says, thank you, you're welcome. And so with that, I'm going to do a quick reminder about timelines. We're getting a lot of questions about how long this is going to take, how long is that going to take. It's not known. There's no answer to that, so that's the only answer. Marinush asks, any updates on Iranian parents' green cards? There's no particular updates. You file the case, and hopefully they'll get an interview, and then hopefully they'll approve it. So it's hard to say updates. Each case is different. It depends on where your case is. It's not possible to give an answer to that one like that. Haji asks, I'm a K1 visa holder, as a fiancé visa holder. If I apply for I-485, that's applying for a green card in the U.S., and work permit without completed vaccination in I-693, will my application be denied? No, not at the time of filing. Well, one thing is, if you came on a K1 visa, you did your medical, you probably just didn't do the vaccines. You just need to have your vaccine record when you go to the interview. If you don't have it at the interview, they may deny it or give you some more time to get the vaccines, but just get the vaccines for the interview and get them. Jim, you should have probably done it at the embassy. Just get out of the way. Jim says, I took 3 weeks for USCIS lockbox to text, email, cash my check after receiving our I-751. They say the case is being forwarded to an ambassador service center. Good or bad? There is no good or bad. It's just they're going to start processing your case. Eduardo asks, can a DACA recipient who re-enters the country and approve advanced parole apply for adjustment of status rather than going through consular processing, adding that they have an approved I-130? Well, Eduardo, it depends. Who submitted the I-130? So if the I-130 was submitted by your minor and your parent submitted it for you as a U.S. citizen, or more likely your spouse submitted it for you, or you have a child that's a U.S. citizen, then that's okay. But if you have a brother and sister, or a parent that's a green card holder or something like that, filing I-130, no, you can't adjust status. So it depends on these kind of factors. We have to figure out what's going on with your case, what's going on. So it's too case specific, Eduardo. I can't answer that. Imran asks, I applied for asylum, but now marriage to a U.S. citizen. Am I out of status now? Marriage to a U.S. citizen doesn't give you any status. Applying for asylum doesn't give you status either. So unless you maintain the original status you had when you entered the United States, if you came with the visa, then you're out of status, but you can potentially clean it up. But there's a lot of details we need to know about your case. So, email my office so we have a private consultation with you and your spouse to see what's going on. But, being married or filing an asylum case does not give you any form of status. Lemon Juice asks, asylum final hearing coming. If I get married to U.S. citizen, will this help or protect me? It depends. Lemon Juice is too case specific. I got to see what claims you made in your asylum case. Potentially, you could start the marriage green card process, but you need to get administrative closure or at least prosecutor discretion to push it off your case. When you get married, when you're in court, they're more likely to think it's fraud. So lemon juice, there's just too much going on. You need to have a private attorney help you for sure, 100%. So go and do that and talk to someone in private. 29 Super asks, good evening, Attorney Kasravi. Do you know of any lawsuits in an attempt to get a family and employment visas in consular offices expedited? I know there are a few DV 2020. Started a bunch of lawsuits. By the day, if you're interested in a lawsuit, you just hire an attorney to file your lawsuit. You don't have to go and join other people's necessarily. You're welcome, Eduardo. Ariz asks, can my wife, travel to home country while asylum pending, but she has marriage-based travel documents? Can my wife travel home while asylum pending? Ariz, I need to review your individual case. That's too convoluted the way you put it, and it's too case specific. Malik asks, how marriage interview going on this pandemic, if you attended any? Okay, she's asking, how are marriage interviews happening? Are you attending any? Yeah, I've attended. I have like a bunch of ones right here. About once a week, I go to marriage interviews, and they're just having fun. They just have a glass in front of you when you're talking to the person. When you're walking to security, they only want you to enter the room 15 minutes beforehand. So if you go in early, they won't let you in the building many times. They're gonna do the degree, they're gonna get your temperature when you're signing in and checking in. When you're sitting in the waiting room, the seats are mid in the way, so a lot of people can't sit next to each other or be distanced. But generally they're happening, and it's fine. All right, you're welcome, Lemon Juice. Ivy says, hello, sir. Do you need a joint bank account as proof of evidence of marriage? In this case, if you just got married and only one spouse is working, so it will be empty. Thanks. Having a joint bank account is good. I would definitely do that. But there's other ways to show your relationship. Aris, thank you so much for sending the good points on TikTok. There's other ways of doing it. You just got to have documentation. Why not open a joint bank account, put money in over time? But if you can't do that, then it is what it is. Just try to have other documents to show your relationship is real. Check out the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide. It'll give you some ideas at www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com. So we have another raffle winner, 15-minute free consultation for Marty Halfield. Marty, thank you so much for watching, liking, and subscribing to the YouTube channel. What you need to do is take a screenshot of the comment that you made, along with some proof in that screenshot that this is your account. Email that to me at info@jqqlaw.com, and we'll have a video consultation and see if I could give you any advice that can help out. Haji follows up, what's the advantage of completing vaccines while submitting the I-485? Is there any time delays if I wait until green card interview to do vaccines? No, you could just do the vaccines later. The thing is, the sooner doing better, maybe, because we might have another pandemic and all of a sudden the doctor's shut down and you can't do it. So it's just, there's a lot of unknowns. I can't tell the future. You should have done your vaccines when you did your fiance visa interview at the embassy and did your medical there. Just got it out of the way. 100% of the time that's the thing to do. But hey, you didn't do that. Just do it for the interview. Tatiana asks, do we need to bring my husband's birth certificate, the petitioner, to the green card interview? He was born in a foreign country, got his U.S. citizenship 3 years ago. So Tatiana, you need to bring proof of your husband's citizenship status. So it should probably be his certificate of citizenship or his U.S. passport. But you don't have to bring his birth certificate. It's not needed. One time, I had an officer ask for it when it wasn't needed like this, and the guy didn't have it. And they said, whatever. There's no reason for them to ask for it unless there's some sort of peculiar situation going on. So no, you don't have to do that. But bring proof of his citizenship. Mahalid asks, can I submit motion to reopen by myself, or is the lawyer a must? The case is I-751. Well, you don't have to have a lawyer for anything with regards to immigration. But if you got denied and you got to do a motion to reopen, you're making a big mistake not having a lawyer in the first place. So you should talk with a lawyer. King asks, any immigration visa news? King, I went through that at the beginning of the program. We'll have the video recap of this up. If we don't get any questions, there's some downtime. I'll go back into that. But yeah, we already talked about that at the beginning of the show. Sorry, caught on late. Just a reminder, we are doing our free consultation raffle. We'll have one more 15-minute consultation space. We already gave out 2. What you need to do is, if you're watching on YouTube, like, subscribe, and in the comment section, put consultation, free consultation, something like that. And my associate Lawrence, my assistant Lawrence, will pick one for me, and I'll give you instructions on how to schedule that time, whoever the winner is. Natalia asks, is it safe to leave the country and come back with travel permit? Natalia, safe is a loaded term. First of all, I don't know anything about your background to say whether it's safe for you or not, because each case is different. But at the end of the day, there's always some risk when you leave the country. So it's up to you how important it is for you to travel and not travel. Ferdy asks, attorney, I was petitioned by my mother 10 years ago. She was a green card holder back then. I was single when it was filed. 5 years ago, I got married. Until last month, I received a letter from NBC. I'm sorry to hear that, but once you got married, the petition was invalidated. A green card holder, child of a green card holder who has a case pending, cannot get married until they get the green card or until the parent becomes a U.S. citizen. So unfortunately, you destroy the case by getting married. And RK asks, what else can we do to expedite processing at USCIS? Well, you call them up and request expedite. Really, or contact your congressperson if urgent enough, or file a lawsuit. Really, that's it. Marty Halfield, you're welcome. I'm glad you picked it up. We get a chance to talk and I get to know your case better. God bless. We'll talk soon. You can definitely email me with a photo to show it's really you when you email me. I don't want someone else taking your spot. Let's do it that way. Mahalet says, thanks to you as well, Mahalet. Appreciate that. All right, so we got a lot of questions in, actually. We got a ton on TikTok as well. We're going to get these in my system in a second to process. and we'll be taking your questions. Malik asks, any tips for marriage-based green card interview, Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide? Yeah, so definitely download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide at marriageimmigrationlaw.com. At the end, there's like 4 or 5 pages of practice questions. But basically, the most important thing that's happened since Trump came and still has continued is they go into detail about how you met each other. So how you met each other, what the date was, what date you met each other, and when was the first time you went out, when did the relationship become intimate or become boyfriend-girlfriend or boyfriend-boyfriend, whatever it is. And you need to know the dates, where you went for that dinner, when you first got serious, when the engagement was, the date, what you did exactly. So you go into a lot of facts about your case. So my practice interviews, we go over that relationship history with my clients so we can be very prepared. I just had a consultation 2 hours ago with a couple, didn't hire an attorney, submit the case themselves, went in unprepared, couldn't answer the questions well, and it's been 2 years now the case is pending. They're doing a fraud investigation now because they didn't answer their questions well. Now the facts are kind of weird. The couple had a huge age difference. I've submitted half a dozen of these cases where there are huge age differences, never been a problem, but the couple just needs to be prepared to be able to answer questions. You got to know each other well. And unfortunately, they didn't hit it down properly. They weren't prepared, and now they're stuck in this limbo. So really prepare for your case. And that's one of the things, usually you don't have to have a lawyer, but you're going to do this once. It's a big thing in your life. Why not just hire an attorney to help you out and make sure you cover all your bases? All right, Imran asks, is it okay to apply for a marriage-based green card with asylum pending? It's not okay or not okay. It really depends on the facts of your case and what's going on. Maribel asks, can my child get Medicaid if I'm helping my husband get his green card? I don't handle too many of these kind of cases. Probably can. It depends on if your child's a U.S. citizen or not, what's going on, but probably it's okay if your child and the child's a U.S. citizen. A reminder about, we're getting a lot of questions about how long things take, about timelines. There is no timelines. Each agency handles things on a case-per-case basis. When they get around to you, depending how busy they are, or they're closed or not, and how the situation with COVID is, they'll deal with the situation in your case, so you just got to be patient. Tatiana asks, spouses of U.S. citizens can apply for U.S. citizenship 3 years after marriage date or 3 years after getting their conditional green card. Thank you. Yeah, Tatiana, that's a good question. If you're married and living with the U.S. citizen for 3 years, you could use that early 3-year filing, but based on the date that the green card is issued, not based on the marriage date. So once the green card is issued, based on marriage to U.S. citizen, 3 years after that, as long as you're married and living together, or 2 years and 100 or 90 days before the 3-year mark is the first availability to file, as long as you satisfy the other requirements for it as well. All right, we're reaching near end. We'll take a couple more questions. 29 Super asked, there are many backlogs of immigrant visas via consular processing worldwide. How can the State Department reduce these backlogs in a timely manner? They can't. There's 400,000 backlogs of cases, 400,000 of immigrant visas, they said. Usually there's only 40,000 backlogs. So there's no way to do it. Only way is to lower the standards, which means they spend less time with each person just approving or denying quickly so they get through these numbers faster. But that's not the best solution either, because it may lead to unfair denials or inappropriate approvals. If they hire people, it takes years for a consular officer to be prepared to go on the line. So unfortunately, there's just no good way to deal with these timelines. All right, let's see. We got a couple more questions. Freddie asks, hey, my waiver I-618 was administratively closed. What does that mean? Thanks. I don't know how your waiver is administrative. It's probably a court case was administratively closed, so you do your waiver. But contact an attorney in private, Freddie, to go over that. NRK asks, I filed my AB1C concurrent in July 2019. Still no update in processing. What else can I do to expedite the case? I tried opening. Well, it's a long time. You can file a lawsuit for the delay on EB1C, unless, depending on what country you're from, but really it shouldn't take that long unless they don't believe the case and they're doing some sort of investigation. So it doesn't look good. I'm sorry to hear that. Haji asks, if we don't do vaccines on the time of submitting I-485 and wait till green card review, does USCIS issue EAD without taking required vaccines? Yeah, the vaccines or medical is completely unrelated with the issuance of an EAD. So that's that. Elisa says, how do I go about looking for the right immigration lawyer? Well, Lisa, I have a full video on this. I have like a 20-minute video, and I shortened one to also like 5 minutes as people probably weren't listening to a 20-minute one. But just go to youtube.com and check out the JQK Law Firm, How to Find an Immigration Lawyer. or download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide. I have a list and then a link to that video. Just go to www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com. I break down the long format of how to choose an immigration lawyer. So it's a long 20-minute video, which not many people watch, but you know, the good stuff don't get watched too much. The Risky says, well, thanks for the question. Risky asks, I filed employment-based adjustment of status in October 2020, EB1C, I-140 approved, biometrics completed 2 months back, still not received EAD. Is it possible USCIS is working directly on 45 prior to current? I don't know, Rakesh. You just gotta wait. I don't have answers for these timeline situations. 29 Square says, wow, that's rough, Jericho. Thank you for your response. Very much appreciated. Yeah, you're welcome. This is a reference about the delays with the immigrant visa processing, what to do. Yeah, delays are huge, unfortunately. It's horrible. So we're going to wrap this up. We're getting a lot of questions, again, about how long things take and timelines. There's no answer to that kind of stuff. You go visit USCIS.gov. They have some timelines for cases with USCIS, but they're 100% unreliable. And so when the government's things aren't reliable, how am I going to tell you? And, you know, I can tell you averages and stuff like that, but each case is different. I have cases get approved in 4 months. Same case get approved a year and a half. Some get 8 months. So the only thing you can do is to wait, unless, like, you know, more than a year past the average time goes by. And that's when you start looking at complaints or a lawsuit. But for the most part, you just have to be patient. Questions about how long things take are just not good questions in the atmosphere environment that we're in. All right, so our last raffle winner is Inzar Zaze. I think I'm getting that right. Please take a screenshot of where you said consultation and include proof that that's your YouTube page and email it to me at info@jqqlaw.com. I'll send you a link where you could watch, you could select the time that works for you. I have a free 50-minute video consultation. We do this every week, Wednesday, 5 p.m. Pacific. Usually it's only one person. Now I'm giving 3. So a lot of free giveaways coming on at the JQK Law Firm for our live viewers, not the ones who watch the recorded version of this later. And that's a special appreciation for those who join and ask questions. I think we're going to wrap it up. If there's one more question, let us know. But if not, Lawrence, thank you so much for helping out. We'll be back again next Wednesday, 5 p.m. Pacific time. If you're interested in having a full consultation, email my office and briefly describe the immigration issue that you have at info@jqqlaw.com. I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi. Thank you, everyone who joined our program today. Until next one, have a good one. Be safe. God bless. Bye-bye.